Paper laneways are areas that were gazetted back when all of the first settlement happened for roads, but they were never developed as roads. So they stayed on people's properties as public lands, but a lot of them were incorporated into the farming system.
Our purpose is to try to protect that environment, but also connect that environment together to allow the environment to grow and enrich over time.
We're in the sheep wheat belt of New South Wales, so it's a very cleared landscape with a lot of endangered ecological communities.
This road closure process, Paper Laneways, has required us, Landcare, Crown Lands and lots of other government departments to all agree in principle to this process and to close the roads and transfer them to the adjacent landholders for their care and control.
I got involved in Paper Laneways because number one, I was a member of Landcare and looking for people that were interested in it. I thought this was a good opportunity to get some revegetation and enhance the natural environment around our property.
And there was a community that come to Landcare and said, we've got these areas we want to buy back, but they're actually trees. Is there something we can do about it to actually increase their value and create it in perpetuity? So Corridor District Landcare became the facilitator to achieve this here, but the community or the farmers involved. So can we actually change this landscape to create those sort of corridors and get a better sort of gain in those outcomes?
Back in 2005, when the idea for the project kind of came to the Landcare group, it provided this wonderful opportunity to be able to utilise the paper laneways on private land to create these connections between large native vegetation areas that we had in the landscape.
There's enormous benefits to your own business. We've found that the shelter that it provides for stock and also to crops. We thought we would have a decline in crops along corridors, but that hasn't been the case. Sheltering the wind out has enabled the crops to grow better. And the aesthetics of your place, it is really important for your mental health to work and live in a good looking environment.
So we filled in some gaps and enhanced these wonderful areas that were already there to create connectivity for species such as our grey-crowned babblers, our gliders, our woodland birds and animals that needed that vegetation connection through the landscape to be able to move.
It's really exciting to allow threatened species like grey-crowned babblers and squirrel gliders to move through the landscape. Recently, one of the landholders have seen grey-crowned babblers in this laneway here and have come across some squirrel gliders, which is really exciting.
We targeted corridors that linked large areas of native vegetation.
It's really important to have that diversity of plant species. So you've got the canopy and the mid-story and also the ground covers.
The on-ground works for the project involved erecting over 13 kilometres of fencing. We planted over 500 tube stock plantings. We put in over 7 kilograms of native seed and protected about 45 hectares of country.
Areas of land like this one behind me will be retained for the environment and maintained by the local owners of the land forever. It's written into legislation, it's on the titles.
An opportunity that a whole group of stakeholders could come together and provide these wonderful environmental outcomes.
Paper Laneways had many partnerships in there. We've got Federation Council, the Environmental Trust who actually gave us the funding. Local Land Service have been invaluable, whether it's in the direct seeding and the advice in terms of what species have got. We've got partnership with the landholders themselves and also the community of Landcare to actually allow it to happen.
So the reward for us now is to be able to stand out here amongst the laneways and listen to all of the woodland birds calling and know that we've played a part in being able to help them to move through the landscape and to continue to do well.
It really is important that we maintain the corridors for wildlife and for pollinators and ensure that what we pass on from this generation to the next generation is in a better condition than what we received it. So I always encourage people to engage with Landcare and see what they can do to assist.
If you want to get involved, please feel free to contact us at Corridor District Landcare.